Alrighty, so this is the last of the AtGames Sega Genesis video review series. This takes a look at the last 20 of the not so great games on the console. So let's go take a look. Jewel Magic here, very much a Tetris type clone. As you can see, you have various shapes. You're going to match them based on the color and direction of the shapes. So not a bad game, but definitely not Tetris. But overall, good game, I think. For what it is, anyway. Next game we have here is Logic Dial. This game is a match the numbers game. You hit the button in order to get the sequence 1 through 16. And as you go through the game, it does get progressively harder with more than one set of numbers needing to be flipped. So not a bad game. Actually, I kind of found myself playing quite a bit. But overall, interesting game. Next game we have here is Mahjong Solitaire. Now this is essentially just Mahjong. And as you can see, it's very, very slow. Very, very slow. Definitely not worth playing. Not worth playing at all. Yeah, very boring. I mean, I'm all for Mahjong, but not on this. Match 11. This game, you take each number and try to match to 11. Not very hard. It's kind of fun. But again, not a very hard game. Not much to it really, other than hey, get 11 and cool. That's about it. Next game I have is Mega Brain Switch. This game's a little interesting in that you have to determine whether the number and letter coincide with what it's listed there as. So if that's odd, you'd say yes, it's odd, as you can see there. And then it gets progressively harder with those titles going away. You have to memorize what's what. Memory. This is just what it is. It's memory just with Mahjong tiles. So it's Mahjong Solitaire, but as a memory game. Not much there, really. Not much more to say than that. So there you have it. Mahjong memory. Alright, and the next game we have here is Memory Match. So you have to match the 3 tiles in the sequence. Not much to it really. As you can see, I'm not doing very well. It's not that easy of a game, but it's not exactly a great of a game, as you can see. So that's pretty much it for that one. And the next game we have coming up here is Mirror Mirror. Now this game is actually kind of fun in that you have to find the letters that are listed there. So you have the letters on one side, and then you have the blank screen on the other. You have to determine where each letter is, as you can see up there where it says find. Now it does get a little bit harder, and that you can see it actually switched the puzzle orientation there, so it's kind of cool. Mr. Balls. This game is, you have a few choices there. It's the chain. This is essentially kind of like a lights out type game where you have to get all of the bubbles to go away. So you have to make sure that Mr. Bubble is just no more. Kind of a fun game. I was never good at these games, but it's not a bad game for what it is, actually. Next game we have here is Naval Power. Now, this game is essentially, well, it is Battleship, but not a very good version of Battleship, as you can see. Next game we have here is Panic Lift. So you have various different passengers, and you have to stop on each floor the passenger wants off at, and you have to memorize who wants off what floor. So you can see more people get on. You have to. I just messed up there. But next game here we have a reaction match. This game is very similar to the other matching game on the system. As you can see there, you need to memorize them, match them in sequence. Next game here is a snake clone. This game is slow, terrible, and not a very good game, as you can see. And there you have it. There's that. And then there's Space Hunter. This game is stupid. This game is pretty much like Firefly Glow, which was with spaceships. And the added mass sequencer at the end. Spider. This is a kind of like a defend your tower or cake game from spiders. In that you have to shoot down the spiders and prevent them from getting your cake. It's kind of addicting. It does get harder as the game progresses. So kind of a fun little game there. Next game we have here is Sudoku Quiz. And it's Sudoku. I don't like the game, I don't understand it, therefore I didn't play it, but there it is. Table Magic. This game is essentially a find the gold game, kind of like those ball and cup games. That's essentially what this is, just with treasure. So you find which treasure chest has the treasure in it, and that's the entire game. Next game we have here is this game here is kind of like a puzzle game with a ship. You just have to navigate the ship through the water around the obstacles to get the treasure. Kind of an interesting game, not much fun, not much to it. Next game we have, actually last game we have here is Warehouse Keeper. Now as you can see, this game is very, very small. I wish it was bigger, but it's essentially you have to put the boxes in the X spaces, and that's the game. So that concludes the AtGames Sega Genesis review. A lot of great games there, not so great games as well. If you can find it cheap enough, definitely pick it up. Otherwise, if there's only a few games that you like on the console, it's probably better to just go buy a console and buy the games you want to play rather than buying the console there. But overall, great system. Let me know what games you like there on the console, and maybe I'll do a more in-depth review of those games. And until next time, take care and happy gaming.